Last episode, we completed the engine, dropped in the Crowler cams, got it all ready. You can see the engine is off the stand now because the engine bay is empty. It's gonna be ready. Now we installed it, it's all good. And we did every single checkup, and everything is good. And of course, this one, you can check it here. Yep. And of course, your favorite compression test. End of June. Alright, first, our new page is up and running. I had to make a new one because the old one I lost control of it because my personal Facebook got hacked. Here we have the price list listed down, including the head porting, engine building, ECU tuning, and all the other stuff. And we constantly put updates on that on the page, like the stuff that we do here. We're sharing technical stuff, so it's a good place to check out. And when you comment, I try to always reply on every single comment there. This is me trying to help and trying to share all the stuff that we do. So even the updates on other stuff that the shop does, even the members only section reels, we share a bit of preview there, so you gotta check it out. So I'll see you guys there, alright? Okay, now let's continue. Alright, here we finished the engine, and at this point we were setting the valve tappets, the valve lash so it's getting all ready and done. And now the engine is off the stand, it's on the floor, it's ready to be installed. And let's talk about the setup. Here it is. It has a D15 BPO8 head, which is a D16z6 that we fully ported, Crowler valve springs and retainers, Crowler stage 3 cam, the 63443Z. Okay, and the block has a PH16 VTi block, stock bore of course, and stock rods, P29 pistons on the ARP rod bolts, a Skunk 2 Pro Series intake that we ported, and of course a 70mm throttle, that's gonna be good, and a generic 421 header that we've modified the collector system. And then of course here, let's do the compression now. Let's go to the compression calculator now here, and let's see the block is correct, D16, the cracker is D16, is correct. And here the head is supposed to be D16Z6 because it's a PO8. And then scroll down, then we choose the PM7 pistons, which is identical to the P29. The rods are correct. And then here on the head gasket, let's go to the MLS, but we correct this, it's not 0.037, it's supposed to be 0.028. That is the correct thickness for the MLS gasket. And then now let's calculate. But this has the resurfacing, so it's 0.005 taken out on the head and the block just to make it sure it's flat. There, it's 12.54:1. So 12.5:1. And technically that's perfect compression on a Crowler stage 3 cam. That's the minimum I would run when you're running a Crowler stage 3 cam. I mean, me and Bong back in the day, we've run even as high as 13:1 compression on pump gas. That was still okay. Was a little on the edge, but still something doable. Something I would run personally on the streets. But if it's E85, we can go way, way higher, right? So I know this one, when it gets to the dyno, it's gonna be really, really interesting. And we will dyno this for sure. Todd did say that. And so now we got the engine installed on the engine bay. Now we're double checking everything, including the sensors and all the clutch system, like the secondary clutch master, making sure everything is working fine and good. This way, on startup, we can actually start driving it when it gets stable on the tune itself. So now we're checking all the sensors and of course making sure the coolant or the water is filled up really good. This way, on the first warm up, we can see if the fan turns on and everything is working properly. And so now that everything is good, we compression test before startup.
Sige.
Okay, 280 psi, not bad for something that hasn't started up yet. Let's go.
Sige.
Okay, 260, not bad.
Sige.
Okay, number 3 is also 260, pretty good. Next is number 4.
Sige.
Okay, 280, so that's not bad. And remember, this is before even starting up, and that's why we're just trying to see how high it goes, not like we're trying to check the wear and tear or the mileage. Like for example, when you're checking compression tests on a high mileage motor, you do it with 4 to 5 turns only. This way you can see if the compression is up and good. But in this case, we're trying to see if everything is working fine before the start up. So we do check how high it goes. So this is why we check it this way for the initial startup. But of course, afterwards, we have to check it properly. Okay, now let's try to start it up. Come on. Okay, it's not starting. Let's try it again. Okay, now it's still not there. So now we're gonna, as my colleague double checks everything, let me take you guys to the laptop and let's talk about the initial tune. Let's go to the desk now. Let me turn on the laptop. Let's go. Here it is. Okay, now here, I'd like to talk about this on the membership only videos, but in due time, because I still don't have time to make a tuning video yet. This part here, the idle, the ignition is 16 BTDC. So ideally, you have to synchronize this with the distributor. So you, when you got this all set up, you got to make sure on the engine with the timing light, it's 16. This way, it's all synchronized or in sync. Like this, you see here, all the parts in the idle is 16 BTDC. This way, it has an easier time starting or on startup. So that's really important. Okay, you gotta double check on that just to make sure everything is good and synchronized. This way, it doesn't become really hard for you guys to just start it up again. Okay, so now let's try it again. And here we've started it, so now you can see it's all warmed up. Let's start it. Oh yes, Crowler stage 3 cams. It's hiding really good, right? Yes sir, yes sir. Now we can drive it around. At this point, Joseph Stone of Honda Lab is right here at our place, and he was checking up on stuff, and so we told him, hey, why don't you just tune up the startup on this one? And so that's what he did. He did the tuning on this one, and after some time it went really good. And we had to talk about, he was asking what cams that doesn't idle well, because he said he's seen some D series with big cams that didn't idle well, or even B series. And I told him this is a Crowler stage 3, about the biggest you can get, and we're gonna see if it's gonna idle really well. And even as on a B series Pro 3, we can manage to idle it or tune it on idle up to at like 800 and 100 RPM. So I don't know why others can't make it idle properly. But now let's continue with this. Let Joseph Stone tune this more. And so here, let's have another startup. Let's have my colleague start the car so we can take a video from the outside. Here. Okay, now let's try to open the hood. Wait. Oh, crap. Wait, no, sorry. I'm having a hard time opening the hood with one hand because I'm holding the phone on the other. Right, I can't. Sorry, because I have to have my colleague open it for me. Okay, now let's look at it. Now here, the open hood. Yes. And now you can actually hear it. That it actually needs the valve lash adjusted once again because it's been running for 2 hours now. So, and this was a brand new cam. So the next day, like after 24 hours when it cools down, we're gonna adjust the lash once again. That way it's all perfect. But now it's running really good. And actually, before we have Joseph Stone tune it further, let me talk about the base map that I did for this. Because of the setup, I know the setup and I did it all. So here it is. Wait, let's center the, wait, no, let's move the phone so you guys can see it better. Yeah, we gotta move it closer to the laptop. Okay, here. Okay, now let's look at the high cam. On the high cam, Peak power would be around between 7.5 to 7.7 thousand RPM. That's because the setup does it. That's what the setup would generally do when it's done well. So now let's center this a bit. So now we got it prepped there so that peak timing would be where peak power is, and then only on the dyno will we see if the power nose dives after peak power. Then we know what to adjust on the timing, or should it need more or less. But that's on the dyno. But this one, the reason why I'm showing this is because this lets you know that the base map is preset properly for the setup of the engine. And we've talked about this extensively on the dyno section, on the top members, on the members only section. Like this video here, we did extensively talk about the adjustments, tuning, even cam gear, and also on this one here. So that's gonna be good. Because once we dyno this one, of course we're gonna make a video for the public, which is gonna be a good video, but also a separate video for the members only that we're gonna talk about all the details, including how the cam gear wanted it adjusted, like if it wanted it retard or advanced for the whole setup, and how it can improve more. So that's gonna be something cool for you guys. Now let's drive it out and let you guys see how good it runs. Oh yeah, it runs really good. It feels really light. Oh, this one runs really good. It's actually, it feels like it's a B series. It pulls really, really good. And it's barely made like what, 20 kilometers. And of course here you can see the odometer is unplugged, so it's actually our fault. The speed sensor wasn't plugged when we took off the white band earlier. Here, now let's slow down, turn on the AC, because it's a real street car. Crowler stage 3, guys, and it runs really good. Oh man, it runs really light. It pulls good. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I wish you guys could drive this. It's actually really, really fun to drive. Even Joseph Stone was saying that it was quite fun to drive because it pulls really lightly and really good. So now let's head back. So this engine now is done and running really good. So now Todd can pick it up and rack a few miles until 1,000, and then he can decide when we're gonna dyno. So here, to start it up again. Oh yeah, Crowler stage 3. Let's rev it up a bit. Yes, it holds its own at 1,000 RPM, pretty good. Now let's turn on the AC, because it's a street car. Oh yeah, 950 RPM. It still handles it good, it picks up well. So now I know Todd is gonna have fun with this car, rack up some miles, and of course, in a few weeks, we're gonna be dynoing this, and hopefully we see some good numbers. I was like, Find the Right Beat says 160 or something. Let's hope, right? I'm trying to show you guys how it sounds from the outside, but it's catching up too much air. Sorry about that. Yes, sir. So as soon as we get to finish the dyno, you can click it right here.